But what is happening here though, truly? Hi there, my name is Chris and welcome back to my channel where tonight I will be discussing 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 3, Episode 4? Is it 5? Let's go in. So the first couple I'll be talking about is Rebecca and Zied. They go to watch Zied's football practice. But you know, football in like the non-American, so soccer. Okay, but you know, if you're anywhere but America, you're like football. And then Americans are like soccer. We get to the field and he like awkwardly says hi to all of his friends. Rebecca's just standing there like, hi, right here. Okay, the whole point of us coming were for you to introduce me to your friends, yet you are the one talking to them. It looks like you're about to go run off and play this stupid ass game I'm about to watch. Where's my introduction? So he like begrudgingly then is like, oh guys, this is Rebecca. The guys are like, hi. And there's like a wide range of guys here. Like there's some old daddies, there's some young ones, there's one hot one. He doesn't speak English, so we never really hear from him, God bless. Rebecca is just there, honey, like as if she had cut some oranges. She's packed some Capri Suns on ice. They're in a cooler, a red cooler with a white top. And Zied is just on that field, honey, in a very tight shirt. Maybe it looks like a size medium. He doesn't look like a very well-versed player. So after the game, they all gather around Rebecca and like one speaks English and like barely. And she's like, I'm so happy to hear English, please talk. And he's like, great, how old are you? She's like, shut up. Just kidding, shut up. Hell, are you asking a woman how old you are? This is something that's hard for me. In that moment, right, if you don't want to answer, you have every possibility, you have every right to be like, oh, I don't answer those kind of questions. It's a very personal question. I'm not used to being asked that question, so I'm gonna take a pass. I'm good. Thank you for asking. What inquiring minds want to know. I'm gonna keep that one to myself. Didn't Zied tell you? I'm sure it would be like the first thing he'd say. 47.
47.
Say something else. Zied's then like, hey baby, show my friends your tattoos, okay? Which comes back into play later. So she takes off her jacket and shows off her tattoos, and she has 2 sleeves, which is like tattoos, shoulder to wrist, and those dudes are like, whoa. It's just you don't get to see females with tattoos or piercings in their country. It's different. They're like, how much? And she's like willingly giving information that she doesn't have to if she didn't want to, but she's like 3,000 each. They're like, whew, you can open store for that much. Here, generate business for family, whole family, create generational wealth with that kind of money that you just, what, dyed half of your skin that color. Hee hee hee. They're like, Zied really did it, and Zied is like proud of showing off his like rich tattoo American woman to his soccer pals, okay? And they all want to be as lucky as him and be an American girl someday. So then they're going to go out now. And Rebecca's like, I want him to get drunk. I want to see the real Zied, you know? And he sprays the Darcy equivalent of Angel on him as a Axe body spray. He's marinating his shawarma, honey. And I can say that. Okay, so then Rebecca has this thing where she like baits him into an argument over what she wants to wear out in Tunisia, which is that she wants to wear a black satin lingerie slip top out. We can see how a lingerie sleeveless silk piece could potentially not be appropriate. But Rebecca takes the stance of this: I'm a feminist. No man's gonna tell me what to do. No man's gonna tell me what to wear. Okay, I'm a feminist too. When you enter a culture or a society that you have no idea about, you have to take like some ideas and cues. I don't know Tunisian custom, but I would assume that if it's a majority Muslim country, that the women who are there, who are also Muslim, are modest. And so the women usually that also are in places would feel uncomfortable with you wearing that, especially if men are around. So it's not just like what you feel as like an American woman traveling. Americans have to understand that in other cultures, it's about the culture community. It's about the shared experience. It's about the everyone, the family. The family is the unit. It's not an individual. So it's about how everyone feels. You don't go to like those types of countries' homes and they're not just like, yeah, you want a water? Help yourself. You come in, they're going to be like, oh my God, where can I sit down? You know, it's just like a different thing. It's not an individual. It's like the whole, everyone wanting everyone else to feel a certain way as well. So they go out, honey, after this argument, and guess what? Another fake argument happens. Even though Zied's at one of his favorite places to be, which is sucking on a hookah, even though he's in basically his Disneyland, he's upset right from the beginning because of what happened with her. And she is somehow comes up with this like, my last situation, the Moroccan guy, he was really controlling, so I won't let it happen again. And it's like, if you didn't want it to happen again, why don't you date a different type of man? I mean, I wouldn't just keep dating a Hell's Angel after Hell's Angel and be like, I hate those men with their long beards and their like leather vests and they're like, they smoke cigarettes. And it's like, okay, so stop dating Harley's Angel. I mean, I don't know, you know, like, anyway, girl, he's upset, right? He did not want to go out with her like this. And she's sitting there with like early Kardashian eye makeup. I mean, so much eye makeup. It's basically raccoon eyes. And then, of course, she's wearing her jacket and then she takes off her jacket and then he gets in a fight with some dude who's looking at her and her tattoos. Sound familiar? And the guy is just like, oh, tattoos. And he's like, what are you looking at? And they get in some huge ass fight. And it's like, you let your soccer bros look at her tattoos. It's also very obvious to me that this guy wasn't like, oh, what a sexy body. You know, like the guy was just like, tattoos. Okay, on to Timothy. We finally meet Jennifer, and Jennifer is hot, hot, hot. And what an intro. She's working out. She's like throwing the ropes, honey. She's like in Barry's boot camp heaven. I mean, I don't know what kind of like camera they used for even the intro shot, but it looked like a Puma ad. Whatever 12-week workout you're gonna sell on Instagram in like 3 months, I guess I'll buy it. You look good. Timothy is on the way to Colombia. He wants to be real moist for her. So he's wearing his Peter Thomas Roth gold eye patches. You think I'd be like so upset at someone doing skincare on a plane? But I am. Back to Jennifer. So like all of her friends and her are laying out at like some pool, right? And like this one dude who's like an extension wannabe. I mean, he has like horrible hair and like face tattoos of like stars. And then like her other friend, some nice looking lady, her friend's like, let me see a picture of Tim. And she's like, all right. And she shows him a picture of his car. His car is what she shows instead of what he actually is or looks like. Okay. Come on. Bad sign. Then Jennifer brings up Veronica. She's like, he has this whore ex-girlfriend. Look at what she's wearing. You don't wear that unless you want to seduce a man, which she's right, because what Veronica was wearing in that picture that she made Tim send was atrocious. They tell her that Tim has no idea who he's about to meet, and she agrees. And I'm like, yeah. Has no clue. So Tim has this big idea. Like, he has to get Violetta on his side, and he does so with like this like bargain basement bear. I'm just gonna be honest. It looks like he got this bear for Chloe 7 years ago at some fair. She grew out of it, and he was like, last minute, like, I'll take the bear. However, Violetta looks at this bear, honey, and she falls in love with the bear. She's so skeptical about him. Okay, so this is a crazy part. So then they get into a car. In this, like, car is Violetta in a car seat, and then Jennifer sitting bitch, and then Timothy, like, stuck in the corner. He's making it seem like he can't even, like, look her way. And he's a small person. It must be like the most compact car. But because she's so hot, like she is used to, I'm sure, men just being like, what? Yeah. Hi, so happy to be here. And this guy like won't even look at her. So she's like, why won't you look at me? I'm right here, you know? And like he's like, babe, I can't. You know, I can't even look at you. Then she says like Latin men are different, and she's setting this precipice that Tim is different from the men that she's used to, and the difference is palpable. Get it. There are some men that are so red hot blooded. Not gross, but like when they look at you, like they don't want to stop because they're confident in who they are and they're enjoying what's in front of them. So why would you stop looking? Violetta, meanwhile, is asleep, awake, out of the car seat, in the car seat, honey, like playing with the bear. Violetta's like driving the car at one point, I swear to God. But then during this conversation, Tim just decides to bring up, for no reason, that Veronica called to check in to make sure that he had landed okay. She had driven him to the airport. Jennifer doesn't take this well. She's like, who is she? Is she your wife? Is she your mom? Like, if she's not either one of those, she has no business. At some point, Veronica can't keep going on with like her thinking that she's like second in command in your life. So you're gonna have to work that shit out. And there's gonna be some changes. Okay, on to Benjamin. Okay, so Benjamin is like talking to his son. He's like, kid, I'm gonna go to Kenya. That sounds like, okay, you know, kid doesn't care. He doesn't want to tell his son about Akini, which I totally get because the kid's young. And it isn't like he's dating Akini over the course of like 6 months and every weekend she comes. He's going to go and see whether it works or doesn't work. And even though she's going to come back a fiance, if it doesn't work, what's he going to tell this son that's going to even make sense at this point? The less kids know, the better, especially on this show. So his siblings drive him to the airport, and at one point his sister's like, Kenya's gonna look a lot like this. I mean, it's basically the same desert kind of thing, right? I don't think Kenya's gonna look a lot like Phoenix, Arizona, lady. I don't. I wish it was you going to Kenya with those thoughts. He gets on that plane, honey. He's like, goodbye, Phoenix. Hello, Kenya. 30 hours later. It's a long ass flight. And then we go visit Akini. She's the cutest, most adorable, sweetest. I love her voice. I love her. I love her face. I love her hair. I love her sister. I love her friend Colleen. I love her dad. I love her brother. I love Akini. I'm into it. She's like, look, I'm into the fact that he's respectful. He like has not asked for nudes. In this day and age, honey, give that man a medal. Also, if we don't have physical chemistry, I'm just gonna basically be a tour guide the whole time. And it's crazy to think that I'm just gonna jump into some stepmom role. I've like never been a mom and like I haven't met this kid. So like I need to start off being a friend and then like see where it goes from there. In her village, like hardly anyone has ever seen a white person or something like that. I'm not quite sure, like in real life or whatever. And her dad, not very trustful of them, which we all get. So what would have to happen is A, the bride price, right? But also B, her brother would have to introduce Benjamin to the dad. It's imperative that the brother and Benjamin like each other because like there's a whole way you can introduce someone that like gets someone married or not get someone married. If the brother's like, dad, this fool wants to marry Akini, like that's one way. Or if it's like, dad, Benjamin's great. Who knew? He's really nice. He's rich. There's so many ways to like handle that situation. I can't wait to meet Fidel, which is her brother's name. So after her and her sister, who's adorable, like do their hair and like talk about life and like what all has to happen, they really set a picture. She goes to the market with her friend Colleen to like buy Benjamin a gift. And Colleen gives us all the tea. She's like, Akini has always liked white movies. She basically always like loved white people. Always. So this is not surprising. I need 1,000,000,000% more Colleen. It's the investment that you can see in her eyes over this. Oh, I'm so real. I love it. So Akini loves white people, dad not so much, and Colleen's like, and you're not gonna raise that kid? That's weird, and you should probably think about the fact that you're gonna have to raise that kid. And Akini's like, so Akini goes to the airport and she's nervous and she's like, I'm almost crying and I want to throw up. And this is so crazy. I've never even been to an airport, which is like, oh my God. And then he gets off the plane, which is like 30 hours, and they hug. And you know what? This is exactly why I love the show. Like, you can tell that they like generally like each other. And this is the first time they're seeing and they're like, oh my God, like, this is what you smell like. And this is what you feel like. And this feels weird. And like, your eyes are crazy and like, what's happening with those eyebrows? It's kind of like what Jennifer thought Tim would do, right? Like she's hot as hell. Tim gets off a plane and she thinks that Tim's just gonna be like, I need to take you in. Visually, sensorially, which is exactly what Benjamin Akini does. You know, because Akini, like she hasn't experienced people of the ethnic background of Benjamin is like, your hair feels crazy. Why does it feel like that? That's, oh my God. And you're so hairy. You're bigger than I thought you'd be, but I guess you're Americans, you know, so I should have like husk, like, you know, like sausagey. Not in a bad way, kind of like in a, ooh, meat and potatoes, right? I love it. On to Darcy. So they're driving back to the Airbnb. Darcy's drunk. Typical Darcy. And at one point they go over a bridge. She's like, bridge, so are we gonna get married there? And he's like, no. And she's like, I'm gonna get married on the London Bridge, that one there. And he's like, that's not the London Bridge. She's like, that's not the London Bridge. You're right. It's another bridge. It's the English Bridge. She gets her on this Airbnb and it's like totally nice, you know, not like luxe, but nice. And she just starts crying because no man's ever treated her this way, which is weird because it feels like TLC is treating you this way, not him. But anyway, she's like, this room and this room is so nice. He's like, I'm glad you like it. This is how everyone should be treated. He's like being callous with her and cavalier. And then he takes her to a very small room and he's like, this is your room. And she's like, it's weird, it's small. There's not even, how is this my room? It's my Airbnb. And she doesn't like the energy in that room. And then it's revealed that up the next part of the stairs is his room. And he has the master. And I'm like, what? I thought you rented this Airbnb for her. I thought you had gotten her an Airbnb. I thought you were gonna stay either wherever the hell you live or stay. You didn't get her an Airbnb, you got yourself one, as letting her stay there. It made no sense. Darcy then is like, I don't want staying in that room, I don't like it, I don't want to stay, I'm gonna cry, I can't be alone. It's like a bunch of things, crazy things, just to get him to sleep with her. Which he does. And now they're in love. Doesn't ever work out that way. So she woke up in full face. So if you're like, all right, so if you slept in full face, all those white sheets wouldn't just have his nose blood on them. They would have your like Chanel all over it. Noseblood because upon rising, Tom's like, you hit me in the middle of the night, hit me in the face. I'm blood everywhere. I have this thing in my nose. He's so unattractive. So is she. Specifically how she's acted, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate because we all love the sauce. I like to drink too, and getting a little loose is fun. And then you watch people on camera and you're like, oh God, I can't ever drink again. I don't want to ever look like that. I don't want to ever be that messy looking. He's like, we got to get ready in an hour. I have plans. She's like, an hour? That's fine. And Darcy's mind, she's like, I have to skip everything I'm ever going to do. I got to wear the exact same makeup right now. Thank God I never took this one off, and put on another bodysuit. So she takes off the Chanel. She puts on a Fendi one. They get on a boat, honey, and they're cruising. She's like thinking that he might pop the question, but instead they finally get on the same page. Darcy thinks they're fiancé. So fiancés, like the name suggests. Tom thinks, I was saying how this is gonna work. He's been dating people the whole time, honey. He put 2 of them on the back burner. Yeah, let's see if this works out. This is like a trial thing. And Darcy gets deflated. The Darcy gets the deflated. I feel so bad for Darcy. She's like, what? He's like, I canceled things. She's like, okay. Darcy, isn't there a point where you're like, this guy's gross. You're not cute. You're not rich. I'm going to take my hot ass back to America and I'm going to get the man I'm supposed to get, which I swear to God, Darcy, in my mind is you need an older, like Italian, right? Or like Latin man, you know, someone who like likes to drink and likes to be like passionate and will like make you feel like a woman. You keep trying to date these like pansy white ass European men. It's not for you. You need like a fiery son. She ends the saying, I assume too quick, too soon. That hit home for me because I think that's a problem I've had before with men. Assuming too quick, too soon. Because you want something. Learn the lessons from Darcy. Darcy lessons. Okay, next is Avery. So Avery's going wedding dress shopping with her mom, and guess what? Also Omar. And her mom is so happy about that. So they go dress shopping and small dress store, quick turnaround, no tailoring. And they try on 3 different dresses. The first dress is like kind of purplish and like meh. The second dress is a little more form-fitting and silver. And the third dress is like white and pearlescent and very wedding-y. She feels really good in that one, and that's the one that they get. And then I'm like, oh, who's gonna pay for it? But it ends up being Avery's mom, which is, I guess, traditional, but I kind of thought Omar was going to pay for it. I don't know why. Her mom says Avery used to be very strong-willed and independent, so for her to watch Avery enjoy being told what to do by a man is just crazy. For me, I am a strong-willed, opinionated, independent woman, and for me, I don't mind being submissive to a man who I respect and who I know has their shit together and is smart. Does that make sense? Anyway, but Avery's mom is like, we'll just see how long that lasts, because she's going to get sick of this, and then we'll just see, because she's not going to be told what to do forever. Then they go to dinner. Honey, oh my God, this is exactly what I want to see. Oh, actually, we didn't get to see the food. He just ordered it, and I just wanted to see it, because you know me, I love some Lebanese food. Have you had Lebanese food right now? Listen, if you haven't, Google, look in Yelp, and see if there's any Lebanese food by you. It's the best.
I'm talking hummus and tabbouleh is obvious. Lebanese is great. Fool, I love. Mohammedah, so good. Of course, like chicken kebabs, like shish tawuk, great. Imjadra, stuffed kusa. Raw meat is kibineh, that's not for me, but kibbi, which is like either fried like little footballs or in a pan, is the best thing you can have. Get some with a little like sour lemon salad and some Lebanese on the side, fried like kibbi balls.
We didn't get to see any of that, but instead we get to see Avery's mom. I like Avery's mom a lot. Obviously, she should have trepidation about Avery doing this. Avery shouldn't be doing this. Avery, I guess, has come out and said that Avery broke some bones and that's why she stopped doing gymnastics, and she had friends that were Muslim and that's how she converted. This scene's hard to watch though, because Avery's mom looks like went online to some crazy site where they've taken bastardized extremist interpretations of who knows what, and then she presents this as Omar's like, this is what your religion does, like telling him. And he's like, no, it's not. And I can only like think it'd be the same as if a person came up to a Christian person and like showed them the Westboro members, like the people that are like protesting military funerals, like really hateful, horrible people that call themselves Christians that will point to the Bible and be like this or that, and this is their interpretation. If someone presented that dogma to most normal, everyday Christians, we'd be like, that's not it. That's not us. That's literally, those are crazy people. It's not us. Just like there are extremist, crazy Christians, there's extreme, crazy ass Muslims. But just like Hinduism, these are old religions that are based in a lot of the same truths as Christianity. A lot of these religions borrow from each other. It's about love of the family, love of each other, about doing good. So anyway, it's a really hard scene to watch because Omar just has to be like, can't speak English perfectly well, but all he can say is like, that's not what you're talking, that's not us. I don't know how to defend. That's not what I believe. That's not what we believe. And then Avery's mom orders a drink and is like, hey, Avery, do you want a glass of wine? Knowing full well she cannot have wine. Not because she can't have it, because in her religion, what she has chosen to believe, they acknowledge it's not healthy for you. And they, just like Christianity, have a tenement of the body being the temple. A lot of sects of Christianity don't want people to drink or don't want people to get tattoos or do drugs or do even like pharmaceutical drugs. There's so many different sects, right? And having said that, I think this can be a really great learning experience, not only for Avery's mom, but for some of the viewers of the show to understand that Islam is a beautiful religion, that it's not like some crazy terrorist organization that hates women. There are some customs, just like there have been in other religious worlds that we all live in. Yeah, it's a patriarchal society. It's not the first, not the last. Let's go to Caesar. Caesar is eating that top ramen, 10 cents a ramen, so you can get 10 for $1. And he's sending a lot of money right now to Maria, so he lives on that top ramen. He's been texting her. She's been distant, and by distant, not answering back at all, so not answering. I hate this. I hate talking about them. So he still gets in that plane, then gets off the plane in Cancun. And he makes his way over to baggage claim that hasn't seen a piece of luggage, no Toomey, no way back in a very long time. There's tumbleweeds in this baggage claim, okay? Then he's like, oh man, where's my luggage? Where's anyone? No one's here. Not one piece of anything's here. Air isn't in this room. No one's in this room. What are you talking about? Where is your luggage? Dumbass. I just can't with him. Then he's like, I hope I get my bag in time. And he Eeyores his way out of this Cancun airport, and she hasn't answered yet. He checks in at the desk. He's like, hola, it's my first time in Mexico. And they're like, avioso. they're like nice to him, which is probably the only warmth he'll get on this trip. Because Maria won't answer back. And she's read them. She's left him on read. That's so cold. Honey, that's done. Can you believe it? I'm gonna hate editing this. Thank you so much for watching. And again, there was no Angela and Michael. There was like a little bit of Angela and Michael, I guess, but I didn't even write anything down because like I don't understand if I dismissed it or if it was so small. So we'll see more of Angela and Michael next episode. I can't believe this cast is so good that they can go 2 whole episodes now with barely Angela and Michael, and it's like still very watchable. It's 2 hours every Sunday. It's like literally a Hallmark movie. That's how I'm ending my Sundays now, like family time. Ugh. Join me next week, won't you? Thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris L. Farah. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris L. Farah. The L is for La Land. This is a Malbec, a 2018 Malbec made with organic grapes. Okay, thank you so much. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Love you and happy everything, and God bless. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Bye.